Sir, what do you... just why?
I forgot to get a present for the Cenarians. All I have to give them is a box of Aunt Jemima, a complete cursed set of pirate cupware, and a VHS copy of My Dog Skip.
Sir, Cenarian custom dictates.
I know. If I don't bring them a present of friendship, they'll chop off my favorite limb. Thankfully, they'll never know where mine is.
They're aware it's your penis, sir.
Shit.
How could you forget to get their gift?
I was busy.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days.
Doing work.
Uh-huh. Well, thankfully the Cenarians are actually quite easy to please. They love music of other cultures, so perhaps you could put together a mixtape for them.
A mixtape? What is this, 2004? I have no other ideas, so leave me alone and let me do the thing.
You're welcome, you ungrateful sack of meat.
Oh, hi. Welcome to the Voyages. I'm Captain Arl, King of the SS Artifice. I'm trying not to have important parts of me chopped off. In the meantime, let's talk about David Bowie's Space Oddity.
This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade.
David Bowie's classic ballad tells the story of an astronaut who decides to take billions of taxpayer dollars and promptly fuck off into the abyss for... reasons? Actually, according to this music video, it's to have a three-way. Because having zero-gravity sex is the only reason anybody cares about space. This is one small step for man. One giant leap for this dude! And the song's been covered by everyone from Def Leppard to Elton John to even William Shatner. No, that is not a joke.
Ground control to Major Tom.
Or maybe it is. It's hard to tell. But it is, as far as I can tell, the first song to be recorded in space. It was played in the UK during the moon landing and inspired another hit song that was essentially just Major Tom fanfiction.
Standing there alone, the ship is waiting, all systems are go. Are you sure? Control is not convinced.
Fun fact, this song actually hit higher on the charts than Space Oddity did because life isn't fair. Anyway, despite all of this acclaim, I've never personally found anyone discussing what this song is actually about. Subtextually, I mean. So let's give it the old Space College try. First, some context. David Bowie wrote Space Oddity after seeing 2001: A Space Odyssey, because being subtle with your inspirations is for poor people. He considered the film a revelation for him, probably because every time he saw it, he was high as a kite. So I guess that means, in the simplest terms, the song is meaningless. It's a story inspired by a drug trip while watching a movie. This isn't exactly the story you expect to hear for grand auteurs. However, I've never let the convenience of logic get in the way of me being pretentious. So I think the key to understanding Space Oddity is to answer the question, who is Major Tom? So what do we know about Major Tom? Well, for one, he's a soldier. Astronauts don't actually carry any sort of formal rank or honorifics of their own. Being an astronaut is a job. An awesome job, but still just a job. We get a lot of these ideas for astronauts having titles like captain from the way naval vessels work. And even that is largely because of TV shows like Star Trek, where space travel does have a military structure. Because as I'm sure we'll discover, everything is Star Trek's fault. So he's a military man and also a scientist, as NASA requires at least a bachelor's degree in one of these fields, and actually prefers higher degrees. He's also married, so, mazel tov. The song itself also came out in 1969, when there was a lot of focus in the Northern Hemisphere on getting to space, particularly in the space race between the US and the USSR. So Mr. Dr. Major Tom is probably a bit of a celebrity, especially if people care about... So let's try and piece this man together. He's a soldier, possibly a veteran of the Vietnam War given the time period. He's flown at least 1,000 hours piloting a jet per NASA regulations, and now he's finally been given the chance to go into space. I think in this moment, everything Major Tom has done up to this point comes crashing down around him.
Sitting in a tin can.
He doesn't see the beauty of space or the complex engineering or even the making of history. He sees only himself in a tin can. For all his time, for all his energy, for all of his sacrifices, he feels no accomplishment.
Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do.
He looks out his window and sees the Earth as a sad place, a place where none of his work has meant anything. Sure, the rest of the world disagrees with him,
You've really made the grade,
but that's not what he sees.
and I'm floating in the most peculiar way, and the stars look very different today.
There's no sense of awe or intelligence to his words. He sounds more bored by the things that are meant to inspire awe. He eventually just comes to one thought.
Tell my wife I love her very much. She knows.
And Ground Control promptly ignores his request to tell him that, oh, she already knows. And immediately after, Major Tom gives up.
Ground control to Major Tom, your circuit's dead. There's something wrong, can you hear me, Major Tom?
Ground Control did actually care about Major Tom, but Tom was so disconnected from it all, it didn't matter. He just lets go and drifts off into space, past the moon, looking back on the Earth with that same thought in his mind.
Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do.
Space Oddity has lasted for 4 decades as an absolute classic of rock and roll, and I think it's because we all subconsciously connect with Major Tom. We connect with this feeling of smallness, this feeling that we can't actually impact the world around us, no matter how successful or influential we become. God, that's a bummer. I'm too goofy for that to be my conclusion. Got it. I think Bowie provided a more optimistic conclusion to the story of Major Tom just by being himself. I obviously can't say for certain if this was how Bowie actually felt, but I'd be more than a little surprised if he never dealt with them at some point in his career that spanned nearly half a century. I've certainly felt this way on more than one occasion. Hell, I felt that way more than once just writing this video. But then I remember seeing how Bowie's death impacted seemingly the entire world. I unfortunately didn't start really digging into Bowie's work until about a year before he died, but seeing the number of tributes to him, the number of people just shaken by his loss, it feels like a reminder that even if we don't feel our impact, that doesn't make it less real. David Bowie shared a real feeling in Space Oddity, but he defied that feeling with the reality of his own life. So rest in peace, you weird, weird man. The rest of us will keep on making our own trips to shape the universe. Speaking of which, I have a mixtape to finish. Computer,
Yes, Captain?
how much longer until we reach Sonara?
We've already arrived, Captain.
Oh. Computer,
Yes, Captain?
please prepare my knife-proof pants.
Right away, sir.
Oh, God.
Captain, perhaps you should look at your view screen.
Why, are the Sonarians rioting already?
Not exactly, sir. It would appear the planet was somehow blown up before we arrived and without our notice.
Oh! Well, I guess that means I can get back to work then.
As soon as we figure out time travel, I'm going back and cancelling that show.
Greetings, fellow Voyagers. Thank you for bearing with me while this video comes out late because my birthday was last week and I got sick while celebrating, but I'm obviously good enough to record this now. So here it is, and the video's out, and if you liked it, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you also want some more David Bowie goodness, check out my friend T-Bell's video on Labyrinth, and I will put up another video somewhere. Until next time, I will see you on our next voyage.